So we continue with the next part of the explanation. Now we move to the third page of our textbook, and here we see that Salarino continues with his speech to Antonio, and he says that shall I have the thought to think on this, and shall I lack the thought that such a thing bechanced would make me sad? In other words, what he means to say that if I can imagine all this would happen, shall I not also have the imagination to picture the grief which the occurrence of such a disaster would cause me? In other words, if I have the capacity to think like this, then I have also enough reason to be upset, to be sad. And then he says, but tell not me, I know Antonio is sad to think upon his merchandise. So he says that you don't have to tell me, because I know very well why Antonio is sad. Antonio is sad because he is thinking about his goods and also obviously about his ships. So his merchandise is the reason of his sadness. Now Antonio, who was listening for all this time, now speaks up and he says, believe me, no. You have to believe me, because I am not sad because of that. I thank my fortune for it. My ventures are not in one bottom trusted. He says that I am thankful to my fortune for not being worried about my goods, because I have not invested all my money in just one ship. In other words, loading one particular ship with all the goods. He has several ships. So what he means to say is that he has invested his funds to load many ships, and he has sent them in different parts of the world. So he is not much worried, because if something happens to any one ship in particular, still his other ships will be doing business abroad and will be coming back home with the profit. So he says that I am not worried about it, because I have not spent all my money on one bottom, meaning to say one ship, nor to one place, nor have I sent all my ships to one particular place. In that case, what is the possibility? Suppose all the ships are moving in the same direction, then they all have to face the same disaster if anything happens on the way. But if they move in different directions along the different parts of the world, so there will be a greater chance of the ships to be all right and the ships to come back safe and sound. Nor is my whole estate upon the fortune of this present year. Here he means to say that I have not wagered my entire wealth in just one venture of this particular year. So my business enterprises are not all risked in one single ship, nor destined to any one place, and nor is my financial position dependent on the business ventures of this particular year. This is what he says. You can always see the notes alongside. Whenever you come across a line which seems difficult, you can refer to the notes mentioned alongside, so that it becomes easier for you to understand. Plus I am explaining, and even after that, if you have any doubt or problem, you can always contact me. I'll be happy to explain. So then he says, therefore my merchandise makes me not sad. So it is not my merchandise which is making me sad. So Salarino says, Salarino and Solanio have been suggesting so many different reasons, but Antonio is not ready to accept a single reason. So finally, Salarino has no other thought in his mind. He simply says, why then you are in love? Why then you must be in love? Because when people are in love, they are always thinking about their beloved, and therefore they are sad, because their mind is always preoccupied with the thoughts about their beloved. So Antonio, being a middle-aged person, and Antonio being a full-fledged businessman, he does not have such feelings of love, and he is not romantically involved with any woman. So he says, Fi means nonsense, or shame. So at this age, do you think I should fall in love? No way. So Salarino says, not love neither. So you are not even in love. Then let us say you are sad because you are not merry. And were as easy for you to laugh and leap and say you are merry because you are not sad. Oh, so you are not even in love. Then let us say that you are sad because you are not happy. Then it will be very easy for you to jump around, laugh, and say you are happy because you are not sad. Now, by two-headed Janus. Now, he gives the reference of Janus. And who was Janus? Janus was a Roman god of doors. See, the explanation gives you a very clear idea about who Janus was. Janus was a Roman god of doors who had two faces, one frowning, the other smiling. One head looked inwards and the other looked out. He is referred to here to indicate that nature creates two different types of men with different outlooks. Now by the two-headed Janus, he is actually swearing in the name of Janus, the Roman god of doors, and he says, in case if any of you have a doubt as to what Janus looked like, this concept of two heads, Janus was a two-headed god, and one of his heads was placed on the inside of the door, on top of the door, and one of his heads was placed on the outside, facing outside the house, on the top of the door. And it was believed by the Romans and eventually maybe by the Elizabethans, the people of Shakespeare's time, that if you had the two heads of Janus on the doorway, then Janus would protect your house from all evil. So the head looking inside the house was supposed to be blessing everyone, and the head looking outside the house was supposed to be guarding the house. So this was the concept. Of course, this concept is something which you don't have in the present scenario, but then during Shakespeare's time, most probably the Elizabethans, they believed this. So now by two-headed Janus, nature hath framed strange fellows in her time, some that will evermore peep through their eyes and laugh like parrots at a bagpiper. So there are some people who laugh for no apparent reason. Their eyes are so deep set that they seem to be peeping from inside the sockets of their eyes, and they are always sort of laughing like parrots do. And they even laugh for no valid reason, no apparent reason. If they hear a bagpiper playing the bagpipe, even then they start laughing. And then there is another category of people in this world, this other, who have such a vinegar aspect that they will not show their teeth in way of smile, though Nestor swear the jest be laughable. And then there are another category of people in this world who are always serious. So the first category, people are always laughing, even for no reason at all, or sometimes even for petty reasons, ordinary reasons, which does not really generate laughter. They still laugh for anything and everything that they see or hear. And then there is another category of people in this world who are always serious, even when Nestor would swear that a joke which has been cracked and everybody is laughing. So who was Nestor? So there is a reference also to Nestor. Here you can see down below it is explained, an old and wise Greek general who fought in the Trojan War. A joke had to be extremely funny if Nestor laughed at it. So, meaning to say that this Greek general Nestor, who was known for his seriousness, his gravity, if Nestor also laughs at a joke, even then this second category of people in this world would not laugh, would not show their teeth, even if Nestor would swear that the joke or the jest was laughable. So that's the end of the third page of the first act of The Merchant of Venice from your textbook. So thank you very much. Next video will be continuing with the fourth page and the fifth and so on. So thank you very much as of now, for now.